Hey guys, welcome to the Game Precast, episode 17. My name is Frank. I'm joined by Mike. This is our podcast where we talk about all things gaming. So before we get started on the actual topics, we like to talk about what we've been playing. So Mike, what's been going on with you?
Well, earlier in the week, I was mainly playing Breath of the Wild. If you watched last week, I said I just completed my second Divine Beast, and then I was gonna go off and do some shrines, and that is exactly what I did. I got to 13 hearts, and I have the Master Sword, so I have two Divine Beasts left, and then my roommate said to grab the memories before I beat the game, so I get like the special secret ending or whatever. So I'm gonna do that. And yeah, it's a really fun game. I don't think it's like the masterpiece everybody says it is. There are some flaws to me, but I do really like it. I would give it a 9 personally, but I would see where people come from when they give it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree
And
with that.
then yeah, and then I played a little bit of Monster Hunter on Xbox World. It's that game's a lot of fun. Put about 30 hours into it on PC, but I don't really, play that much on the PC platform anymore. So I had it on Xbox digitally, but I wanted Iceborne for it as well because I never played that. So I saw this at a good price and I picked it up. And I haven't gotten to that content yet because obviously I need to make a new character and start over. But I'm taking it slow and steady. Haven't played it in a few days, but it's still a lot of fun. If you like challenging games and you like kick-ass monsters or dinosaurs or whatever, and you want to hunt them, or capture them and then bleed out their resources over time, whatever you want to do. That's a great game. I would encourage anyone to play it, especially since they're making a sequel based off that Capcom leak. And then I was playing a bit of Dark Souls Remastered with my roommate because he just got into it. I've beaten Dark Souls 1 probably like 6 times at this point. It's one of my favorite games ever, and I don't like it as much as 3, but it is my second favorite Dark Souls game. Not the remaster, I'm just saying DS1 in general. The remaster itself is a shit remaster in terms of what a remaster should be, and at launch, me and my buddies just absolutely hated it.
You see,
But
I'm playing through it right now. Uh, Dark Souls Remastered, and I mean, the graphics. I don't know. Like, what was your main problem with the remaster? Because I feel like the graphics aren't terrible,
well, my
considering
main
it's a
problem,
remaster and
it
how
was
old the
good
game
for
is.
consoles. Yeah, no, it's good for consoles, but for PC, they screwed over everyone who had the original. Basically they took it off the Steam store when the remaster came out, so you couldn't have any new friends like go and buy the game without going through somewhere shady like G2A or whatever.
Oh,
And then um if you had the original, you didn't even get the remaster for free. You had to pay $30. They gave you like $10 off. It was just really scummy and wasn't a fan of them, especially since they didn't really offer that much in terms of changes that the community hadn't already provided through mods.
yeah.
So it just was like I said, it was good to bring it to the modern generation of consoles at the time, PS4 and Xbox One, but for PC players, it was a real dick move on Bandai Namco's part. And then yesterday, and I did play this game a little bit on Xbox, but I never got as far as I did yesterday when just playing for about 3 hours. I want to say 3.5 hours. And that's Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. This game is fucking metal, man. Oh my god, it's so brutally difficult, but it's so much fun. I mean, when people say it's harder than Bloodborne and Dark Souls, well, I will say it's definitely harder than Dark Souls, but I wouldn't say it's harder than Bloodborne. It's just difficult in a different way. Like Bloodborne encourages aggressive play in your face, trading damage with your bosses, just getting the most damage out as fast as you can and rallying at every attack you get hit with. Sekiro is all about patience, restraint, knowing when to strike, and then timing your strike perfectly and your blocks following that, because an enemy isn't just going to stand there in this game and take a bunch of strikes. They're going to eventually deflect what you're throwing at them and land a hit on you. And the fact that so many mini bosses are in the game compared to other Souls like games, and the fact that they have two health bars you have to work through, is a very significant, upgrade and challenge, but it just feels so rewarding to get through enemies like the Chained Ogre. When on Xbox I struggled for a day or two on him, but then I killed him in about a half of hour of trying, or maybe a little bit under. It was just a really rewarding feeling. And then I finally got to kill the first main boss, General Oniwa, I think his name was. I don't know how to pronounce his first name without looking at it, so I'm not going to attempt it here. But he was a guy who rides on horseback, and that took me about another half hour to get down, maybe about 5 tries, but so probably a little bit less than that. But regardless, it was a hell of a thrill jumping up on top of him when he was on his horse and stabbing my katana through his face. Especially after he whooped my ass so much. It's just an incredibly rewarding experience, like every other Souls like I've played, well, made by From Software. That I have to make that distinction because a lot of people who aren't them don't get it right. But yeah, if you guys like the Souls games or Bloodborne or whatever, you want to try that same formula in a completely different gameplay style and combat style, I would recommend it. But there is no co-op, no summoning, so don't think you can get off easily by having a friend help you out because that is just not possible in this one.
Okay. Well, for me, I finished Ratchet and Clank 2016.
How'd you like it?
As I said last week, I mean, it's a decent game. It's like a 8 out of 10 max. Um, I mean, I liked it, but like just the story. And I get that's the whole point of those games. They're supposed to be a little goofy and unrealistic, but I mean, I am excited for Rift Apart, but yeah. It is free right now, actually. If you are someone who hasn't gotten the chance to play it, it's being given away for the entire month, so you can go give it a shot. I definitely think it's worth to check out for free. But either way, it's only costing like $20 to buy at this point. Beat Stick of Truth, South Park, which was a fucking blast. Oh my god, dude! I was talking to some of my friends at work because they were telling me about like how good the South Park games are, and I wanted to get into turn-based games. So I was like, all right, perfect thing to try to get into because I haven't played a turn-based game since like Pokemon. So it's been, and I haven't played Pokemon since I was really young. So it was the perfect, rebound into turn-based, and I had a really good time playing through that game. It's entertaining. It's the same exact humor as any South Park episode. So to that degree, it was really good, and it was enjoyable. I beat it in like 2 or 3 days, so it's pretty short, but good time on that. Then we got the Outriders demo. I'm sure, Mike, you can add a little bit onto this.
I kind of purged that from my memory
Yeah,
a little bit.
I was thinking about it when you were going through your games. Like, you didn't mention this one. I know you played it.
Yeah, no, I finished the demo.
Yeah,
Didn't really
I did as
bother with
well.
the side quest though because
I did all the side quests.
I was checked out by the time I finished the main quests.
You see, I
Complete
liked it more than you liked it, but
because I've been playing Division 2 a lot recently, so I know what it's like to play a competent looter shooter, and just
yeah, it definitely has its issues.
it feels so cheap. I don't know,
And
like a
did you notice that
knockoff.
there's like loading screens like every fucking 15 seconds?
Yeah, there's loading screens every like 15 seconds with cutscenes that are just boring as hell to watch.
It was
And
like Anthem
on
all over
those
again.
on those loading screens, it gives the most pointless information. Like I'll be on mission 3 and it's telling me the description of mission 1 on the loading screen, even though I did that like half an hour beforehand. It's so pointless, and it feels so low effort compared to what we've seen, what was promised, and I feel like this is a 30 $40 game max, depending on how much content there is. I don't think it's worth like a full 60 AAA price because it's not. I mean, you look at it graphically, it's so inferior, even on Xbox Series X, to what we saw in pre-release footage. And I think that was PC, but even so, there shouldn't be that much of a disparity. The Series X is a very competent machine, it's very capable. There's no reason how it should be running or looking like what it does on the platform. And I was just very disappointed. I don't think they're going to be able to improve much between now and launch because it's only like what, a month away?
April
Not
1st.
even. Yeah, under a month away now because it's March 2nd as of the time of
Yeah.
recording this. So yeah, I don't have much hope. I canceled my pre-order and I switched it over to Monster Hunter Rise for Switch
Yeah.
because I have much more faith in that game. And I hate to say it because, looter shooters can be really fun when done properly. Maybe not at launch, but like Destiny 2 now. It's a
Yeah.
prime example. That game has so much content. There's so much you can do in that game. You can play it for tens, hundreds of hours on end between the PvP and PvE content. Outriders had none of that. And I just didn't find the story to be compelling either.
You
I
see,
mean,
I was digging the story at the beginning, Like
Yeah,
when
when
you
you ride
first land
out
on
into
that
the
planet,
future.
it was giving me Mass Effect vibes. Like when you first get on the planet and you're exploring it, and oh, there's all these weird things, and then it's
The
just like,
plague in the forest and
yeah,
everything
and
like
then it's
that.
just like, yeah, fuck you, you're disappearing for 100 years, and you're coming back, and now there's a whole war, and
Oh my
that,
god. And the villain acted like the guy who screws everything up, that guy in that white suit.
yeah,
He acts so irrationally and without any just ounce of logic within his dense ass skull. It just annoyed me so much because the decisions he made, I get he was supposed to be the bad guy, but he's just an idiot. He's a
yeah,
bad guy because he's an idiot and he keeps making wrong decisions that are obviously wrong to a guy like me who is just like starting out in college, and this is the dude that's leading the human colonization of another planet.
yeah.
Like, come on, bro. It's just it feels so lazy to me. Just the whole thing feels so lazy, and the voice
That's
acting is not good either.
yeah,
The main character in particular made me laugh out loud a few times, like when there's this part where he gets injured when leaving the forest and he just lets out a scream, and it sounds like a dying boar or something like that. It's
yeah. I
just,
didn't think the female was that bad. I'm playing as a female, so I don't know how the male voice
oh
actually
god,
sounds,
yeah, no,
but
he sounds terrible.
yeah, it has a lot of jank. I think is a good word.
So stiff.
Yeah, I mean, I think as of right now, I mean, I think I enjoyed it enough to check it out. Um, do I think I'm gonna really enjoy it? Have a great time? Probably not, based off what I played. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like that progress is gonna carry over, so at least I won't have to replay all those missions. But I don't know. I don't have high hopes for it. Like, I mean, and basing my thoughts off a demo sometimes because demos can be misleading. Like, I enjoyed the Anthem demo. Like, I had a blast on the Anthem demo, and then we go to the full game, and I was like, oh wow, this fucking sucks.
There's a key difference between these two demos, though, is that the Anthem demo is really short compared to what was offered here. I feel like we got a good taste of what the entire game is going to be like with Outriders
Well,
compared to.
I mean, Anthem's demo. I mean, we still. There was only like one main mission in the Anthem demo compared to like the four that we got in Outriders, but there was still a decent amount of side content in the Anthem demo. And then that was the problem that I had with the full game of Anthem. Like one of my problems was like the lack of content in it because the demo had like 75% of the side missions that were in the
Yeah,
full game. So I was like, what the fuck's this? So I mean, and if that's gonna be the same thing in Outriders, and I don't know how big the map is actually gonna be and all that, but I mean, there's four side missions, I believe, four or five.
yeah. I
And
just wasn't even compelled to do them personally.
yeah, I mean they were pretty average, and and then also the difficulty thing with the world tiers. I didn't realize I was bumping up my difficulty. So as I played it, and then I was getting my ass kicked, and I was getting so mad, and I checked my screen, and it had me on the hardest difficulty, and I was like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, if you don't turn it off, it
Yeah,
automatically
I had
progresses
it
to the next
automatically
world
ranking
tier.
me up to higher
Yeah,
difficulties.
I kind of like that, but I think it should be turned, like the auto upgrade should be turned
Yeah.
off for new people who are just getting into the
Yeah,
game.
because I was kicking ass, and then out of nowhere, I'm getting my ass handed to me, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, shit. But yeah, I mean, I'm optimistic about Outrunners to a degree, but I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, I think there's a chance it gets delayed again. Who knows? But
It should. It should get delayed again, and they should make a deal with Game Pass so I can play it. Because that would be a good Game Pass title, honestly. It would get a
yeah,
lot of people, playing it, and I definitely don't wanna pay for it, but I would like to, just experience what else the game has to offer at no real risk to my
yeah.
wallet.
I mean, April is kind of, as of right now, it's looking kind of busy. Like the April, May, June area is looking a little bit on the busy side. And I'm
May's
sure
looking
some things are
really
gonna get delayed, but I think Outriders is one of those games that needs a delay. And
yeah.
like just put it in like a month like July or something where it probably won't be that busy. And I think the extra time and all that could really benefit it. But
Yeah, I think the only big thing coming out in July is, Skyward Sword Remaster,
yeah,
so they wouldn't
that's
really
like July
compete.
16th, I believe, and those are
I
two
think you're
entirely
right.
different crowds for the most part. So,
Yeah, but
and then the other two games that I played, as Mike is well aware, I played Ghost Runner a little bit, and
oh, yeah. So,
yeah,
hold on. So a little bit of a context for a situation. I released a video when Ghost Runner came out, a preview of the game's mechanics and everything like that, and I said I didn't like the game. And a lot of people didn't like that I didn't like the game, and one guy commented that, it was completely ridiculous and whatnot. my take on it, and then Frank over here goes to him and says, "Yeah, no, we believe this was mainly due to a human error on our part and doesn't reflect the game." And he apologized to some extent. So just with that prefaced, how'd you like Ghost Runner, Frank? How's it treating you?
Yeah, it's something else. I mean, a lot of people really liked it. Like, it reviewed very well. So I was like shocked when Mike didn't like it, and because I thought the demo was pretty good as well.
I love the demo,
We
man.
both loved the demo. So I thought Mike was just like high or something when he played it, or was off a bad trip. But yeah, I'm not really enjoying it that much. It's real, and it's not that. I want to say it's more of like a Dark Souls tier of not enjoying it. Like, I'm raging a lot.
Don't you dare compare
I
them.
know that's gonna piss you off comparison wise, but it's like that's like my main problem with the game right now is just the difficulty. I mean, I'm just, and it's not. I don't know if it's difficulty by design or difficulty by bad design. If that
I
makes any
think
sense.
I think it's personally bad design, not in terms of combat. I think the combat feels great. It's the platforming for me.
Yeah.
It's what gets me off beyond belief, and especially with the fact that to wall run, you need to specifically place your feet like where they are on your player model onto the wall in order to wall run. Otherwise, you just face plant and fall is really annoying. Titanfall works so well because you kind of just automatically lock on if you position yourself right, as long as you're not like upside down or whatever, which is kind of impossible to do. Um, that game nails it really well. And just with Ghost Runner, you have to be unbelievably precise. And when you have to move like continuously without, otherwise, you're just going to get shot or stabbed or hit by an electric trap or whatever, um, or another environmental hazard. It's just very difficult to manage all that in such a short time constraint. And I think it kind of works counterintuitively to the game's design. Personally, I think it is bad game design, or at least bad level design.
Yeah. I mean, I want to play a little bit more before I have like a full opinion on it. Because I mean, it is like intriguing to a degree and it's cool, but I mean, I did I think 4 levels and I was getting so frustrated at the game. I spent so much time on this one little section where you have to like shoot, you have to knife these 4 like energy protection things that are protecting other people, so you can go kill them all.
I think I know what you're talking about.
And I spent so much time in that one section. I was getting so mad. It was like 3 a.m. I just wanted to finish this one area because if you don't finish the whole level, it kind of restarts if you just exit before finishing the actual level.
Yeah.
So you have to redo everything on the entire level. You don't go back to like your last checkpoint. So you have to finish the entire level. And I'm over here at like 3:30 on a school night. I might have to wake up at 9:30 tomorrow. I'm gonna have like 4 hours of sleep, and I'm fucking over here raging at this game. So I do want to give it one last try to see if I could like it anymore, because there is like some interesting stuff going on with the story in the background, and I know a lot of people really liked it, but overall, not loving it so far.
Yeah, no, the story's definitely like intriguing because it has that Blade Runner aesthetic. But
Yeah,
so does Cyberpunk, and I'd much rather play Cyberpunk than Ghost Runner.
yeah, and
So
there's like the Civil War kind of going on in the background. There's like assassins and shit. Like, there's a cool little concept going on there, but
yeah.
the actual platforming is kind of iffy at times.
And you said you have one more game?
Yes, I got one more game.
Because I have one as well that I forgot about because I just started playing it today, but you finish.
Okay. Well, my one game we touched on it a little bit before, but Dark Souls Remaster. Uh,
So proud. I've trained
so
you so well.
I
You got
now
the
anyone. Actually, I don't know if I've actually talked about this before on here, but a while back, maybe like a year ago, I started Dark Souls Remastered, and it was like my not revenge story. It was I can't think of the fucking word to describe this. Revenge? No, not like
Well, this would be your redemption arc. if
redemption
that-
arc. Thank you.
Yeah.
My redemption arc, because I played Dark Souls 3 when that came out. Like, I was like, oh wow, this looks cool. I knew nothing about Dark Souls at the time. I was like, oh wow, look at this, look how cool this looks. Oh my god, I can't wait to find out the story and all this. And I go in, the first boss just fucking annihilates me. I got so mad on that game, and this is what 2015. When did Dark Souls 3 come out? 16.
Dark Souls 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, April 2016.
Okay, so this was in April
I
2016.
Yeah.
Little 8th grade Frank. I was getting so mad at this game. I was in the 2 hour window on Steam, so I just returned it and said never again. And then my redemption arc started. Dark Souls Remastered, and this was about a year ago. I go into it. I'm like talking to Mike about it. I'm like, yeah, dude, this game is not for me. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. And I rage quit. I never played it again after like a half an hour. Like I got to that like, first boss, and I couldn't even kill the Asylum Demon.
Yeah, and for the record, he was using the drop attack as well. He wasn't trying to just fight him with the broken straight sword.
Yeah. So
So a lot of people make that mistake.
I retired from Soft Games, and then my redemption arc actually started with Demon Souls, and I played through that game. After 40 hours, I beat everything, and Mike was there supporting me from the sidelines the entire time on this From Software journey. And then, yeah, I mean, it was a really good game. I had a blast, and then my plan was Bloodborne. It was going to be Bloodborne. I was going to play it at 60 FPS. The patch was coming out, the unofficial patch, and then I found out I couldn't tell the unofficial patch, so I have to wait for the real patch whenever that comes out, if it comes out.
You're telling me, pal.
So, yeah, so then I went back to Dark Souls Remastered because I know Mike loves the Dark Souls games, and considering there are 3 of them I have to play, might as well get started on at least one of those before I, tried something like Sekiro or
No one would blame you for skipping the second Dark Souls game.
no,
Or
I'm
if you
gonna play
do
it. I
play
know
it,
people in the
if
From
you do
Software
play it,
community don't like it for some reason, or not that
well,
they don't like it, they just like it less than all the other
look,
From Software games.
it's a good RPG. It's a good action RPG. It's a terrible Dark Souls game, though.
Why is that?
Honestly, it just doesn't really take what was best about the first game, especially when it comes to level design and
Okay,
boss design, and it doesn't incorporate that well because it's made by From. I don't want to say this in a derogatory way, but it was made by FromSoft's B team, and the A team with Hidetaka himself was working on Bloodborne at the time,
okay,
which is why Dark Souls 2 suffers a little bit, and but he came back for 3, which is why
yeah.
in my opinion 3 is the best. But
So like the level design, for example, in Dark Souls 2, is it like
it's not as interconnected as the first.
all right? Like, I mean, that's kind of one of the things. I don't want to say I dislike it because I like open world games and all that, but like
Yeah,
the whole like I'm getting lost like in this game. Like I don't know
you're
where the
meant
fuck I'm
to.
supposed to be going. Like it's like, oh yeah, there's 2 bells, and I've been making my way up to the parish because I'm assuming that's where the one bell is,
Mm.
and it's just like there's like optional bosses all over the place, and I just in Demon Souls, it was just like, all right, here you got a straight path, just keep going, find the
Yeah,
boss,
but
kill him, and then keep going straight.
well, Demon Souls is a different type of game.
Yeah,
Not only is it more primitive in that sense, I don't even want to say primitive. It's just it was the beginning of their design philosophy, so they didn't really figure out what they wanted to do yet. So it's just different in
yeah,
Demon Souls. Just for certain things like tracking down the boss, it's easier, but it also makes the gameplay harder in certain other regards. Um, it's still just when it comes to Dark Souls 2, what platform do you plan on playing these on? Or what PC, right?
PC. I need
Play
60
play
FPS.
Listen, play Dark Souls 2 vanilla with the DLC. I'm telling you, not Scholar of the First Sin is what I
What's the
mean per
problem,
se.
Scholar of the First Sins?
What's
Oh
the problem
God!
with Scholar of the
All right,
First
well, let's
Sin?
hear it.
Well, I don't want to go off into a full tangent here because we do have a lot of topics to cover, but suffice to say, what the fuck were they thinking?
Oh no.
Just they replaced so many enemies that were in the later game in the early game and just put them in areas where it didn't necessarily make sense, design wise. So it's kind of just a lot of unfair BS. There's one area in particular that irks me especially called Hyde's Tower of Flame that has 2 bosses, and if you kill one boss before the other, that awakens a bunch of enemies that are super hard to kill, not individually, but if they gang up on you, um, they are quite the challenge. And even if you just try and stay at the bonfire, you can't even do that because they just are attracted to you from such great distances that they'll come to you as soon as you get off of resting at the bonfire. And if you want to
Damn.
try and run past them all to get to the boss, in Scholar they added a dragon you need to kill to lower the drawbridge. So as you're trying to kill this dragon, you have about 2 giant dudes and like 6 or 7 white knights just like following you trying to kill you, and they'll all fight you at the same time. And that's just one area, and that's just one example of Scholar of the First
So
Sins
so why'd they
nonsense.
do this?
Because a lot of people said DS2 was too easy, which granted it kind of is compared to the other games, but just Scholar, like the thing about Dark Souls is it's so beloved because it's insanely difficult, but it's insanely fair.
Yeah.
99% of the time you die, it's your fault. Scholar of the First Sin, it's not like that. It's just unfair bullshit, just for the sake of artificial difficulties sake, and it's just not a good time compared to just playing the vanilla DS2. Although it's easier, you won't be finding yourself running into as much nonsense that you can't control. That's just artificial difficulty, and you still get all the DLC. There is a new final boss, or final boss, like post final boss type thing. It's hidden in Scholar the First, and they won't be able to do in the vanilla, but it doesn't really add all that much. It's not that all of an impressive boss fight, especially compared to what you see in DS3. So I would just, since you're playing on PC and you have the option, we don't have the option on modern consoles. You have to go back on 360 or PS3 to play vanilla. Since you are blessed with the option, play vanilla. Just get the season pass, and that's a much more enjoyable experience.
Okay. Yeah, but before I do that, I gotta beat Dark Souls 1, and we are struggling, dude. This fucking gargoyle, oh my god.
Summon me, buddy. I'm here for you.
Dude, I mean, I think I'm gonna have to summon the NPCs, because I read that you can do that. Like, I just saved.
Solaire.
Yeah, I just saved this guy from his like jail cell right before it.
Oh, you're gonna have to kill him.
Damn, bro. Why?
Listen, pal.
Why do I have to kill him?
He goes back to Firelink Shrine, and if you let him linger for too long, he caps the Firekeeper, and then the bonfire dies. So what you got to
What the
do,
fuck?
right? What you got to do to avoid fighting him is just, do you know how to kick in the game? You just nudge the left stick forward and press R1 at the same time.
Yeah.
Then you kick. Yeah, you kick him off of the ledge where he's sitting so you don't aggro him. He dies. You quit out, load back in, and then his items will be on the ground. And he drops a ring, and you can't take it off, otherwise it'll break. But it's one of the best rings in the game. Definitely in the top 3. So wear it.
So it's kind of like in Demon Souls, how you got that one person go back to the base and they just start killing people.
Yeah, except pretty much pretty much exactly the same as the Silent Chief, except he will only kill one person, and it's a much more major person. Like Yurt starts out small, and then he progressively gets more bold with his targets.
Yeah.
Or the other lady, if you kill Yurt, her name begins with an M, and I'm not gonna try and pronounce it without seeing it in front of me. So, regardless, be on the lookout for him. He's a piece of garbage, and he could mess up. Well, not, I don't want to say ruin your entire playthrough, but he could mess up a big convenience in your playthrough for sure.
Yeah, because that's the one that gives you 10 healing, right?
What, the ring?
No, the bonfire, Firelink Shrine. That bonfire, that one gives you 10, right?
Yeah, because it has a Firekeeper. But once you beat this one boss Pinwheel and unlock the Rite of Kindling, you can go up to 20.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, cause I got that 5 right now, bro, from like the normal ones, and the gargoyles are kicking my ass. And like, what's the thing in Demon Souls that were similar to gargoyles in that one boss fight?
Man-eaters?
Yeah, the man-eater fight, bro. Like that one, I didn't struggle with. I beat that one like on my second try or third try,
Bro,
maybe.
You're bugging right now, because man-eaters are way harder than
I don't know how maybe I got really lucky with. Well, then again, I did have the magic.
Yeah, it does trivialize them a lot. And man-eater is also a heavily RNG based fight as well. So
Maybe I got that the pyromancer thing in Dark Souls 1. But I mean, you only got 8 fucking fireballs, bro. So that's not really doing me much well.
yeah, because they learned magic was OP in Demon Souls, so they changed it around.
So that's not gonna do me much well in that 2v1.
No. Well, again, if you want to make it a 2v2, you have.
I might have to make it a 2v2 if I don't succeed tonight. I'm gonna have to text you.
Yeah, no, wait. You play on PC. I also have it on PC, and I have a character on there. Either way, we're fine. Bases are covered.
I'll let you know how that goes, bro. But I think. Oh, you said one more game.
Yeah.
All right.
It went on sale today on Xbox Live, and I had enough like rewards points through Game Pass to get a $10 gift card, so it ended up being like $2.70, which was a pretty good deal. And I did just pre-order it physically, unlimited run for Switch, because I just watched the movie that this is all based off of this past weekend for the first time, and I loved it, so I had faith in the game before even playing it. Now that I finally have, I don't regret my decision at all. And that's a Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game, the complete edition that was remastered for Xbox One and PS4 and Switch and all that. Bro, that is a blast. That is one of the best beat 'em ups I've ever played. I mean, just my favorite thing about it so far, besides just the art style, which is brilliant and matches the movie's aesthetic perfectly, um, is the soundtrack. It's so good. It's retro, it's like 8-bit, but it's really, really good and it matches the tone and just theme of the game really well. And just the gameplay, it's a little stiff compared to other beat 'em ups I played, like Streets of Rage, which is probably my favorite beat 'em up series. Um, it still plays really well. The combat's super fun, especially with all the different characters you can cycle through to try out different moves because it does include the DLC, which has two other characters that you previously had to pay for. And I was playing co-op with my roommate because you can't do online or couch co-op, and it's just a lot of fun. And if you like the movie, odds are you'll like the game a lot.
Yeah, I've never seen the movie.
You should watch it. It's on Netflix. It's very funny.
What is it about?
It's about
Scott
a guy who wants to
Pilgrim.
get with this girl, but she has 7 deadly evil ex-boyfriends that he needs to fight to get through. But it's like very arcade game, like old school Nintendo based. Like the boyfriends are like boss fights, and it's
Yeah,
just kind of over the top and just it's hilarious. Honestly, it has a lot of good people in it, like Michael Cera,
Chris
uh,
Evans.
Aubrey Plaza,
Yeah.
Chris
Okay.
Evans. Trying to think, I don't know the name of the
Lucas.
actress who plays Ramona Flowers, but she's really good. Uh,
No.
no, they're all. It's a funny movie. I would watch it, especially.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yeah,
All right. Well, I will add it to the list. The list that gets longer and longer. Now I don't know if I actually told you about this last week, but I watched the Batman versus Superman extended thing, like the 3 hour cut.
we
Dude,
were talking about how you should watch it, but you didn't tell
yeah,
me that you watched it.
fucking amazing. The three
Yeah,
hour
that's
cut.
a good movie,
It
right?
was actually so much better than like the original that I saw.
Yeah, man, it's
I'm so
crazy
excited for
how
Snyder Cut, bro.
if you don't cut an hour out of a director's movie, it'll make more sense.
Yeah.
You'd think that'd be simple for a studio to understand, but apparently not. And I don't even care that Snyder Cut is like in that smaller format that's not 16 by 9. Stylistically, it looks really good. Yeah, man, I'm there for it. Um, I'm super excited. There was someone who said Snyder Cut was gonna suck, and I don't remember who it was because honestly they're just irrelevant and nonsensical for saying something like that. They were just saying it to get clicks, I imagine. But how could you not be excited for this
Yeah,
movie?
dude, I'm fucking hyped. I don't know if I'll watch the full 4 hours at once. I might need an
I am.
intermission. I might need a little.
Well, I'll take a break to like make a snack or something, but I'm just gonna sit down, clear out time in my schedule, and just watch it all. It's this month. It's coming so soon. I'm
I
so
know.
excited. What is it, the 18th, I think, of
Yeah,
March?
I think
Dude,
so. Dude, that's oh man, that's coming quick.
I am so hyped. Hopefully this gets like so much attention and so much press and so much good press at that because the rumors about Henry Cavill being replaced with Superman really piss me off because he's the best Superman we've ever had, and the
And
fact we
we've
haven't
only
gotten
gotten one real movie with him.
yeah, and Man of Steel was really good and it deserves a sequel. So if this does really well, if we get Henry back, we might even see Ben come back as Batfleck. And I know people have faith in Robert Pattinson's iteration, and I do too, to be honest. But I don't see with how reliant DC is on the multiverse and TV, how we can't just utilize that with
Yeah,
film
I mean,
as
I
well.
think there could be a second Superman. If I think they could both
Only if they keep
coexist.
Henry. Yeah,
Yeah,
only
I
if
think
they
they could
keep.
absolutely coexist. I mean, because you got Robert Patterson in his own universe, so go get him his own Superman in that universe. If you want to do like Michael B. Jordan or whoever, do that. But don't give up on Henry because he's a
Because
great
he's the
actor, and we
best.
will be talking
Yeah.
about Henry a little bit later in the show. We got some more
And
info about
you
him.
know, when Henry was reportedly out the first time, that's also around when Ben dropped out. So maybe if Henry comes back, Ben comes back.
Maybe.
We can have two Batmans, man. I mean, Robert Pattinson's is definitely going to be more of like doesn't kill, but more of an inquisitive minded
Well, I mean, we already
Batman.
know we're gonna have
Yeah,
two Batmans because they're saying about Michael Keaton. He's making a
yeah,
return as well, so they have no
in
problem with the multiverse, bro.
in the Flash movie, which is awesome because Batman Returns is a fantastic movie. I don't really like 1989 as much because it has a lot of camp in it, and I don't like seeing Joker on a parade float in downtown Gotham singing and dancing a Prince.
You see, I've
Uh,
never seen the Michael Keaton movies.
Watch Batman Returns. That's a genuinely good movie. Danny DeVito plays the Penguin. He does a phenomenal
I gotta
job.
watch them all. I gotta watch. I think what is there two? Michael
Don't.
Keaton. Or
Yeah, there are. Yeah, those are the only two. 1989 and Forever. Not Forever. Returns. Don't watch Forever. Do not
because I
watch
mean
Forever.
Christian Bale's the best Batman I've seen, but I'm curious
Yes.
about Michael Keaton's.
Christian Bale is the best Batman I've seen and probably the most accurate depiction of Bruce Wayne I've ever seen. But I gotta say, Ben Affleck is my personal favorite depiction of Bruce Wayne because dude is just pissed. He's done. He's broken. He's old. He's tired. He's withered. But that's why I really am excited for Justice League. He's found his purpose again. And I really want to see like a mentally, distraught Batman rise out of that rut that he's been in just from doing what he's been doing for so long and just come back and kind of have like a Dark Knight Returns vibe.
No, one
Which is
thing I will say,
not with Affleck.
I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm crazy here, but the casting in Batman versus Superman, maybe I'm crazy, but I felt like Alfred kind of looked a little on the young side,
He was a
just because
little
of the
young,
age of Ben Affleck.
but
I
Jeremy
mean,
Irons is a good actor. I thought he did a
yeah,
good,
he did a good job, but I
and
just
we're
felt
gonna
like,
see more of him in Justice League now. Snyder
yeah,
cut,
see a lot of people in Justice League. That 4
dude.
hours.
This is gonna be such a good movie. I'll tell you this, in terms of the Avengers movies, I think it'll be better than Age of Ultron, and it might just top either Infinity War or Endgame. We'll have to see. I know it's a bold claim, but I don't know. I like the DC characters way more than I do the Marvel characters that were in those movies, and it's just what I grew up with first. So I would like to see these
Yeah, I
characters
mean, I've always
finally
been
give
DC.
justice.
Like
Yeah.
growing up, I was more of a DC fan, and then I kind of fell off and got
Well, yeah.
attached to the MCU a few years ago.
I got attached to the MCU with Iron Man, and I always liked the Avengers, but the Justice League was always my number one thing. And then, more in particular, just Batman and his whole crew. Robin, Nightwing, Batgirl, all of them, and Gordon, obviously.
Yeah,
But when it came to Marvel, I was always I still to this day I like X-Men way more than I do like the Avengers. And especially since, in my opinion, the best Marvel movie to ever come out, Logan, regardless of Disney or Fox, is with
I've
my
never
favorite
seen
Marvel
it.
hero, Wolverine. Dude, you gotta watch
Did you
it.
see? I was part of the crowd of people who like, oh, superhero movies are stupid. They're for kids. Like for the
Not Logan.
longest time, and then I got back in right before Infinity War. I was my first time really watching a superhero movie. Right before that, so it was around right the time Black Panther came out. A little bit after that, I decided I was gonna try the MCU. I watched Iron Man. I got hooked. First time ever seeing Iron Man. I watched that, and then I just went on a marathon every day. I watched an MCU movie to make it so I could see Infinity War in theaters. So I completely caught up, watched like whatever 20 something movies it was,
Yeah, like
and
22.
yeah, I was definitely wrong. Superhero movies are not just for kids; they are very good movies, and I'm slowly catching up on stuff. Like I was finally doing like a rerun of all the DC movies that I might have missed out on, like Man of Steel. I never saw originally, so that was a good movie. Not sure if I'm gonna watch Suicide Squad again, but
Don't watch that movie. It's not
I've
good.
already seen it twice.
But you should watch Logan because that has nothing to do with the other X-Men movies. It's its own standalone thing.
Okay.
But X-Men Days of Future Past is really, really good. And there's another one. I forget the name of it because I haven't seen it in such a long time, but it's the first one that has like the young cast with James McAvoy's Professor X and Michael Fassbender as Magneto. I forget the name of it, but that one's pretty good. And obviously Deadpool 1 and 2.
Oh, I've seen
Fantastic.
them. I've seen Deadpool.
Hilarious. Yeah.
Those are and I saw Venom. Those are the
I have not
only
seen Venom.
non-MCU movies I've seen from Marvel.
I don't know if Venom's worth the watch. I've heard conflicting things.
Oh, I thought Venom was good.
Okay.
I liked it. But on that note, we have now.
The actual podcast now. Sorry.
Yeah, it's. This
Well,
is
good
supposed
thing
to
we
be
have
like a
timestamps.
quick episode or a quick intro because we have a decent amount of topics to talk about. It's now 40 minutes later. We've been talking about
Oh,
fucking
Jesus.
Batman. So let's get into the state of play thoughts. Let me set a timestamp real quick.
Yeah, because everybody's gonna be skipping this part.
Yeah,
which,
brother. Already, like, all right, 40 minutes. I don't give a shit about what Frank and Mike
Yeah.
do in their free time.
Yeah, you
All
know
right,
what?
so,
I don't blame you. I don't really give a shit either.
Did you watch the state of play? like live?
No, it did
Okay,
not.
I
It's
watched it
called
live.
that.
I thought it was disappointing to a degree. I mean, we saw Crash Bandicoot. It's about time they talked about how that's getting an upgrade, but we already knew about that before the show, so that did nothing for me. Returnal was the next game that we saw. We've already seen so much Returnal, so that also did nothing for me. We saw Knockout City, which I think we saw another show recently. I met him at the Game Awards, maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but that is like a dodgeball, Fortnite vibe kind of game. Does nothing
Mm.
for me. There was a Sifu game, which I don't know if you saw the
That
trailer for.
looks
That looked
awesome.
kind of intriguing, and it was actually a PS5 game. It was the first time we were ever seeing it, so
Yeah,
that did something for me. That looked cool.
It's a martial arts based game. Sifu is a type of sensei,
Yeah.
so it's and I looked at some gameplay that I saw on social media in passing, and it looks really fun and really beautiful with that art style.
Then there was Solar Ash, which I believe we've already seen before, and it's more indie, and the FPS in this game was absolutely terrible. It was lagging so bad in this trailer. So that game needs a few delays, but that did nothing for me personally. Five Nights at Freddy, this was the game that had the most views on YouTube. It had like 2.5 million views after one day. I personally was kind of iffy. I don't know. I mean, it's
I don't
horror,
care.
but it's like
It's not horror.
it.
It's camp. That's what
Yeah,
it.
it's like I don't
First
know.
one was unique when it
I mean,
came
it
out.
is cool that it's an open world, and there's actually did you see the trailer for it? It's an open world Five Nights at Freddy. So you're walking around this whole place instead of just being in the one room, and they're chasing you in like the open world pretty much of this
How
building.
is that open world if it's just one building?
Well, the whole world
This
is
means you can walk around now. Just
the
means you
whole
stand up like a normal human being.
the whole world is this building. It's like this giant mall. So I mean, it's not just like a little Chuck E. Cheese. It's a
Gotcha.
whole mall, but it's just I don't know.
Was that a PlayStation exclusive now, or was it just being revealed at the event?
I don't remember.
Well,
Honestly, I
don't
do not.
bother looking it up. Yeah. So-
Up next was Oddworld Soulstorm, which actually looked pretty good, but we've seen
yeah,
that before.
Oddworld's always
I did get announced it's going to be an April PlayStation Plus game for free, so that was
the
awesome, and
new
I'll
one.
definitely check it out. What's up?
The new one's gonna be free.
Yep, the new one. When it comes out in April, it's going to be
Oh,
right into PlayStation Plus.
yeah, no,
So
I'm
that was
definitely gonna
exciting,
get that.
and
For
I thought
sure.
it looked pretty good. I've never played an Oddworld game before, but this will be my first.
I played one, but it was completely different from this type of
Okay.
Oddworld. It was a third-person shooter.
Then we saw Kenna Bridge of Spirits, which we've seen multiple times already. This game looks incredible. Looks amazing. I am so excited for this game.
I have
Uh,
no idea what it is, but it looks
Dude,
fantastic.
it looks so. The only thing is the release date. That shocked me because they were saying it was gonna be a quarter 1 game as of January. So I was always in like, all right, it's gonna be either March or like April, and that's what a lot of people were thinking. And then they just came out and they're like, oh yeah, it's in August now. So that surprised me. But it looks so good, and I'm okay with the wait. There is no physical edition though, so I'm hoping they come out with a physical.
Maybe Limited Run will do something like
Yeah,
that.
I want something physical for this game
Yeah,
because
I want, I'm hoping Limited Run will announce that they're doing Republic Commando.
we will
Soon.
be talking about that later. Do not
Well, I'm
do
just
not
saying.
skip the topics, Mike.
Okay, jeez, calm down.
Deathloop. What you think about that? Because we've seen
Well,
Deathloop quite a bit now.
yeah, I didn't see the new gameplay. I mean, I already have it pre-ordered, so I'm
Yeah,
just trying to like stay away from gameplay
that's
because I don't
fair. Going
want
on a
any
media
spoilers.
blackout. I
Yeah.
think it looks pretty good. I was kind of iffy on it at first. They did confirm that there's going to be no time limit. So that was like the one thing I was worried about. Like if there was going to be like a
Yeah.
20-minute countdown, it's like, oh, go do all these targets. But there's not, and it's going to be more interesting, more in the terms of like the Outer Wilds. I don't know if you played that.
No,
Okay,
I've
but
heard it's very good though.
yeah, it's more in that vibe in a way. Where Outer Wilds has a timer, I think actually, so that doesn't really add up. But it's more like you investigate and you have to figure out what's the proper way to kill them in the one day. But there's no like fucking countdown thing. They're not like counting you down, making you rush. You can do it at your own pace. And
That's good.
yeah. And then the final game we saw was Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, which had the Yuffie content, and it's going to be coming in June, I believe. It's the day before Ratchet and Clank. That was the only thing that kind of concerned me.
Yeah, that's
that just
annoying
feels weird
because
putting it the day before Ratchet and Clank comes out.
I want to save the rest of my playthrough, and I still intend to for this new edition to come out because I'm pretty sure if you own it digitally or even physically, you get the free upgrade, right? To next
You
gen.
you do get the free upgrade, but you don't get the Yuffie content. That's
Oh,
what
what?
I read that, and that got me so pissed off. Yeah,
Oh,
so
wait. So
you're
am
gonna
I
have to
gonna have
pay.
to buy the whole edition or
They
just
haven't
another
confirmed that yet.
smaller
I'm
copy?
hoping there'll be just an upgrade path, and I could pay $10 to get the Yuffie content. Because if they
Yeah,
make me
that
pay
would be
$70,
preferable.
okay, it's $70. It's not $60. It's
I
seventy
know.
bucks now.
I saw it on
If they make
Amazon.
me
Yeah,
spend $70 just to get,
I'd
and
be
then the
very.
other thing, which there's one more thing that we got to talk about regarding Final Fantasy, but I'll bring it up when we get to the PlayStation Plus games. But
Yeah.
there is something else regarding Final Fantasy 7. But yeah, I mean, I think 4K 60 FPS. I'm happy with that.
Finally.
It
Yeah,
looks
man.
good and exciting times. But let's move on away. I mean, final thoughts about what they announced. I mean, I think it was a little on the disappointing side. Not
Yeah.
as disappointing as the direct because the direct they kind of hyped up. They kind of set expectations for the state of play, being like, "Oh, there's only 10 games. Don't expect anything that crazy." They
I
more
would have.
hyped up the direct.
I would have. The only thing I wanted to say is that I would have liked to see more RE Village.
Bro, I've
That's
seen so much of Village. I don't need any more. We have another
I
demo
do.
coming in like a month
Do we?
probably. Yeah, they confirmed there's gonna be a combat demo.
Is there? Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. I remember that.
so
That's
I
gonna
mean that's
be
got to be coming.
terrifying.
Yes,
Cannot
I'm
wait.
gonna shit myself doing that, buddy.
Oh yeah, big time. But that's all. That's all part of it, man. Part of the journey.
Oh, the
I'm so
journey of
excited.
crying. All right. Up next, Elden Ring. All right,
Stop.
so we got some leaked gameplay from Elden Ring.
About 5 seconds.
You, buddy, there's a whole minute 30 I watched. You haven't seen the.
I only saw
Oh, you
one
only
guy
saw the
riding
one.
a
You only saw the
horse.
horse clip, probably.
Send it to me right now, and I'll listen to you talk. I
Dude,
want
I
to
gotta
watch
fucking
this.
find it.
But what I will say is that I am beyond hyped for Elden Ring. I mean, if it is coming out this year, I mean, based on the recent leaks, it suggests it's not. It's coming out next year. But if it does, that and RE8 are my most anticipated games of the year. Obviously, I'm a massive FromSoft fan, and even though I know this game won't be like Souls, I'm still 100% down to
All
play it
right,
and give it my full
it's on
attention.
Snapchat right now.
And probably platinum it.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean, dude, I'm
uh,
excited for this game
from
a
what I
lot.
saw, the guy riding on the horse, it looked cool, but
Yeah,
it
that's
was
only
like
5 seconds, buddy. There's
360p.
a lot
Yeah.
more.
All right.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean, I'm excited for this. I got. I'm new to the From Software community, but this looks really good. I mean, the fact that there's at least horse combat means it's gonna be a pretty open world. Um,
this looks insane.
it does
What
look
the hell is
insane.
pulling that carriage, that war machine? What? Whoa! Their like hearts are powering everything, but it's like on the outside. There's a face in the ground. It's like a volcano. What the fuck? That's a very Souls-like armor. That armor looks straight out of DS3, and that axe, that wizard. Oh my god, the environments look so beautiful.
I know, and this is at like a fucking 10 100p resolution video we're watching.
It looks like there's gonna be stealth or
And
just
also,
full on
this the video, yeah, the footage you're watching right now is
gory.
supposedly from the end of 2019, early 2020.
The
This is when this
combat
trailer
looks
was
so
made.
good,
So this is
dude.
very dated footage, and the game itself probably doesn't look like that at all right now. It looks better probably.
Yeah, I saw. All right, an all new fantasy action RPG. This is what I saw. Just the guy riding on the horse, dude. From the creators of Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro, bro. I am pre-ordering this game twice. What else do they want from me? I want to play it through on Xbox and PlayStation. Probably 100% on both. It looks so fantastic, so beautiful. This is legit too. This
Yeah,
is 100% legit,
I mean Jason
bro.
Schreier confirmed that that's the one he's seen, but he's saying that this is very old footage. It's from
And it
probably like a
looks,
year
yeah,
old.
it's
So
gorgeous. Though. It
whenever we
looks
see
better
the
than all
official
the other
update
games,
coming, it's gonna be
dude.
probably much better looking than that, which is exciting. And I don't know when we'll get this update. It could be any day. It could be at the Bandai Namco Next event, whenever they hold that. It could be at like an E3 kind of situation. I would imagine we have this trailer, like official brand new trailer, by
That
E3 time.
that ending shot with the moon. Oh my god. Wow.
Yeah, I was gonna say
When
like
can
you
I
didn't seem
pre-order?
like
That's
that.
my. I'll pre-order
You
off of
didn't
that
seem that
alone.
excited over it when I was like, oh, it got leaked, and I linked you that article. You're like, oh, so you only saw 5 seconds, bro. I was
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm excited
Oh,
for it.
that looks awesome. I cannot wait. That looks like a lot of fun. Those bosses looked insane. I didn't even get that good of a look at them, but
Yeah,
no, that channel you sent me, he's a real G.
he is a real G, bro. His fucking
He's
YouTube's gonna
he's
get
been
taken
giving
down though for putting that footage on his channel.
he's been giving updates every single day, even though nothing's happened on Elden Ring, and
Yep.
he's a G.
He's one hell of a dude. All right.
Oh,
On
cannot wait.
that note, let's move into Anthem next. So
Oh yeah,
Jason Schreier came out with an article early last week saying that Anthem Next has been canceled. A small team has been working on the new iteration of multiplayer since 2019, but they were informed that they'll be moving to Dragon Age 4. So, EA held a review of the game's progress earlier this month, and they decided that it was not worth going forward anymore. Christian Daly blamed the pandemic for the cancellation and that not everything that they had planned could have been accomplished under the stress that COVID caused. What are your thoughts on it, dude? I mean, we talked about Anthem a
my
little bit
thoughts are
earlier.
I was robbed of $80. That's what my freaking
Oh,
thoughts are.
buddy.
I got like an idiot. I got the Legion of Dawn edition, which I will not ever buy. You know, a special edition of a game from Bioware again like that. Well, maybe I will for Dragon Age because there's other news following that we'll talk about that later. But
Yes, that'll be the next topic.
if Bioware ever makes another multiplayer game again, the Old Republic MMO aside, I'm not getting it. They completely screwed over everyone who purchased it. We were promised this upgrade that we were literally sold a broken product and they just never fixed it.
Yeah.
It was subpar. I don't really give a shit that these people's time was wasted because not only did they waste my time at playing the game, they wasted my money. And it's just very hard to feel sympathy when the consumer was just screwed over as heavily as we were here. So it's just salt in the wound because now we know for sure our investment will not pay off at all, and what we got for our money was entirely inadequate. Um, yeah, it's a damn shame that they couldn't make it work, and pretty pathetic display, honestly, on Bioware's part. So if Dragon Age 4 flops, that's it for me, at least. Probably for a lot of people. I'll tell you one thing though, Bioware is not who they used to be. No way. This is not the same studio that made Old Republic, the original Knights of the Old
Yeah.
Republic,
I mean, they've changed over the years, definitely.
or even Mass Effect. This isn't the same people. These aren't the same people.
Yeah. And it's a shame. I mean, they made some incredible games early on, and now it's just been downhill recently. And I mean, this is really their last shot here. I mean, let's just combine these two topics because they're all Bioware. So we'll dive into Dragon Age 2 here as well. Just give me 1 second. But yeah, I mean, they confirmed that Dragon Age 4 is going to be single player only. Um,
Definitely because of Anthem's failure.
and because of the success of Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, not everyone at BioWare was pushing for this. Some people wanted to keep multiplayer in it. Others said, look at Jedi Fallen Order. Let's just go single player only. And they're making the right decision here. And this is really their last chance, I believe. I mean,
It is.
if they fuck up here, I think EA takes the gun out and they go to the back of the house. And
Yeah, I mean, if Mass Effect Legendary Edition is good and launches relatively glitch free and just everything works as advertised, that'll buy them at some time. Um, but if Dragon Age 4 fails, then there's no way people are going to give them the chance for Mass Effect 4. I mean, I know I won't because I like well Dragon Age I've actually played. Mass Effects 1 through 3 I haven't. I've only played Andromeda, so Dragon Age I definitely like more because of that. And
yeah,
if they drop the ball here, not only will I be pissed off as a Dragon Age fan, I will be completely let down as a Bioware fan, and I will just not be a Bioware fan after that. I'll have no reason to. I mean, they screwed us over a lot recently, and not really liking them anymore. I always loved their legacy work, but that's the past. For a studio to be viable, it has to have a consistent, quality output, and they just don't. They don't.
yeah.
I think
It's, I mean, it's terrible to say, but they need to be better. And I mean, we can only hope that the future will look brighter for BioWare. But
yeah.
they're definitely not what they used to be.
No, they made their own bed though.
Yep.
This isn't anyone's fault other than themselves. Well, and EA,
Yeah,
but they're
EA's
kind of
management and
they're two heads of the same Hydra, at
yeah,
this point.
you're not wrong. All right. Let's move on in to Pokemon. So
Mm.
we got a bit of Pokemon news last week.
A lot of
Yeah.
Pokemon.
So Pokemon Diamond Pearl remakes have been confirmed for the Switch.
Yeah,
Uh,
Shining Pearl and Brilliant Diamond, right?
yep.
Something like that.
They look pretty good. They're not looking great graphically. I'm looking at the images right now. They still look like really old games, and I mean graphically they look worse than the Legend of Zelda remake that happened. Which I feel like that should be the standard of all these. They should look as good as the Legend of Zelda remake. And the
What
fact that they
remake?
don't is, I guess, disappointing to a lot of people.
What remake though?
The most recent one, the
Link's
one,
Awakening.
yeah, Link's Awakening. Because I
Gotcha.
mean, the
Yeah.
graphics of that game looked pretty good. I mean, upgrade wise, and I mean, looking at these, it's not bad, but it's just I don't want to say disappointing, but I mean, I just feel like they could do a lot more with some of these remakes. But the other piece of news regarding Pokemon is the open world Pokemon game, Pokemon Legends Arceus, which will be
Arceus,
coming.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how the fuck you pronounce it, but coming early 2022. So, I mean, that's very exciting that we're going to be finally seeing a
Yeah.
real open world Pokemon game.
And it takes place in like the medieval era Pokemon, so it's like way earlier in the timeline than anything we've seen
Yeah,
recently.
I mean,
It
it looks cool.
graphically, we need a Switch Pro. I saw your
Yes.
tweet about
Yeah.
it. No, we do because the frame rate it struggles at times, and especially playing Breath of the Wild. If you go to a place like Kakariko Forest to get the Master Sword, or just anywhere that has a lot of dense foliage, your game is going to drop to like 10 frames at least
Yeah,
for a few seconds while you're in there. We like the Switch is a great system, but we need a hardware upgrade, and we need
definitely.
it next year at the
We need a
latest.
hardware upgrade and we need a software upgrade. I mean, they could put DLSS on here and then they could technically run these games at like 1080p and have them look like 4K using DLSS because it's gotten so good on PC. And I mean, that could drastically improve the performance on these games. I mean, there's no reason that these games have to look this bad. I mean,
Well,
but
again, they do have to wait because, with the pandemic and there being, shortages for, a bunch of different materials that you
yeah,
need to make these systems and just the overall strain the pandemic puts on the speed of manufacturing, there's a lot of reasons to say hold off on a Switch Pro. And again, I do agree with that because if you were to release them now, they would just all get scalped for the most part,
yeah,
like the Series X and PS5. But it does need to come soon because if they're going to advance their games graphically at all or just allow more systems to be put in place on Switch games that are just more complicated to code and whatnot, they are going to need an upgrade.
yeah.
And
I
I
mean,
think to
I
just see current Switch games at a higher resolution at a better frame rate would be a very nice bonus.
yeah, I mean, I think early 2022 for the Switch Pro could make a lot of sense. I mean, if you have Pokemon coming out, this open world game, and then you have Breath of the Wild 2 come out at the same time, because I was thinking 2021 fall, but if this is going to come out 2022 early, I
They
think
could
you
do
could,
March 2022 because they
yeah,
launched the regular Switch in March 2017 and that sold fine. So
yeah,
they can
so
just
I
quick
think we
release.
could see that, which could be exciting. I mean, you have Pokemon, you get Breath of the Wild 2 in there, and maybe throw in a Mario game, and you have one hell of a fucking launch lineup.
Oh yeah, no
So,
for sure.
I mean, I'm sure they'll get a new Mario Kart game. I mean, they can get a really good launch lineup going.
Oh, we'll definitely get a new Mario Kart because the one we have for Switch, although it's great, it's just an upgrade of the one for Wii
For the
U.
Wii U, yeah. So it's
So we'll
definitely,
probably get like Mario Kart 10.
yeah.
Something like that.
On that note, let's move into something I'm sure Mike is passionate about. The new Aliens game. So what are you
Oh
thinking
yeah,
about that? So that got
I
announced today. It's going to be a next-gen co-op third-person shooter for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X, and Steam. It's going to be coming this summer. It's set 23 years after the original trilogy. There are 11 different types of aliens, 5 classes, over 30 guns, RPG progression, and similar gameplay to Left 4 Dead.
yeah, well I love Aliens, Alien versus Predator, Predator, all that sort of stuff. So anytime a new Aliens game gets announced, I'm very happy, even though on the inside I really just want a Colonial Marine game done right or a sequel to Isolation. But I guess if this is what we're going to be getting for now, so be it. Um, I when you first sent me the screenshots of this, I'm like, cool, it's gonna be an Alien Left for Dead. And then I saw in the screenshots that you kind of played in third person, and then I wasn't too sure about it. And I said to you, which I'll reiterate again on here, I want this game to be the Alien Left for Dead, not the Alien World War Z. I'd
Yeah.
much rather be first person. And I saw the gameplay trailer, and although graphically it looks good, it was running well. I do believe them when they say it's going to come out in the summer, probably just based off of what I saw. Um, I don't like the third person perspective. It's just not going to be as immersive or scary. Um, and I think it's just going to make it more, just more average and not as special. I feel like you're just going to lose some of the charm with making it just yet another third person co op survival game.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree there.
but, it's cool that we're getting another Aliens game. It's called Aliens Fire Team,
Yep.
right? Something like that. And I'm definitely going to be playing it because I love Aliens. I mean, I know I have friends that would want to play something like this, regardless of they're fans of the franchise or not. And the sound sounded great. I mean, all the weapon effects were taken straight from the movies, and it just felt like Aliens. I mean, especially with the motion tracker ping. They nailed the aesthetic and the atmosphere, but that's just for a trailer. We'll actually have to see how that turns out with the full game. But I'm definitely going to be giving it a shot. Hopefully, there's a beta soon
Yeah.
or something.
And that should be coming out around the same time as Back for Blood. So
Yeah,
I mean, there'll
that's
be some
true.
competition in that realm of the quote unquote Left 4 Dead games, even though one is a lot more similar to Left 4 Dead than the
Yeah,
other.
and the
But
Evil Dead game is coming soon too, I
yeah,
think.
I think it's sometime in the summer as well.
Yeah,
So,
we'll have a Mexican standoff going on. I'm gonna try
uh,
them all out though because I love Evil Dead
yeah,
as much as I do Alien, and Left 4 Dead is obviously the classic. Back 4 Blood will definitely be the best out of these games, but
yeah.
soon.
Okay. Up next, Sony is going to be winding down original game development at Japan Studio. They were responsible for Ape Escape, Gravity Rush, and more. According to VGC sources, this is because Japan Studio hasn't had a profitable game in recent years. According to another source, it's more due to that PlayStation will be shifting its power from Japan to the United States. Several Japan studio devs have announced their departures this week, along with the Bloodborne producer Masaki Yamajima. I don't know if I pronounced that right, dude. That's close enough, though. It is worth pointing out that Asobi team, which were the people who made Astrobot for PS5, appears to be unaffected and will continue to work as a standalone studio. Some of the remaining Japan studio staff will switch over to Asobi team. So it seems
Hmm.
like Japan Studio is going to be more of just support rather than working on
Yeah,
their own game. I know there's rumors from a lot of people thinking, hey, they could be the Silent Hill people,
doesn't
and
seem like it after
obviously that
this.
doesn't going to be happening anymore. But
Yeah, I mean that's disappointing about the Bloodborne guy. Obviously he wasn't as influential in development as Miyazaki was, and in truth, I don't know how much of a part he played in Bloodborne because a lot of people just have the title of producer, even in movies or games or whatever, and they don't really do all that much. I'm not saying that's the
yeah,
case with this guy. I'm just saying I don't know. Um, but regardless, I'm sure they lost some good talent there, and that's real unfortunate because I feel like Sony would be better as a whole if it just stayed as a Japanese-based company. I I don't want them to continue to westernize their policies, especially when it comes to censorship. So I don't know.
yeah,
It's unfortunate, and we'll see how it plays out, I guess.
yeah. But I mean, they've done a lot of like support stuff on the side. I mean, like they obviously helped out in Demon Souls. They helped out in Shadow of the Colossus. They helped out in Bloodborne. They helped out in the original Demon Souls. Um, And then, of course, for other games that they made The Last Guardian, they made the Knack games, they made the Playroom, Gravity Rush, which I mentioned before. So they have made some games, but just none of those games that they've done independently have been profitable. It's more been the support stuff that they've helped out on, like Demon Souls or Bloodborne, that have been the successes. So,
Mm.
but yeah, let's move on to our next topic, which is just Destroy All Humans. They had a trailer come out last week, and it seemed to be teasing Destroy All Humans 2 getting a remaster.
Or remake, probably, right?
Yeah, remake makes more sense. So, now I haven't
Awesome.
played it yet. I know you liked it a lot. I know you predicted this on the GamePreview.com.
hmm
So, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, if it's being made by the same people, I believe it's Blackfire Studios or something like that. I could be mistaken, but that sounds right. There were a few issues I had, but that was really just technical issues and glitches that eventually got patched out. But they did a very faithful remake, and it didn't lose its touch at all. I was kind of annoyed. This is incredibly minor, but I was kind of annoyed at the beginning. There's like a offensive content warning because of Crypto's mouth and what he says, and I was just like, come on, man, really? Like, if people are sensitive, they shouldn't be playing Destroy All Humans in the first place. It's literally a game about subjugating the human race under alien rule. So if you're easily upset, I don't see why you should be playing it, and you should need a warning message. But that's besides the point. They did a really faithful remake, like I said. It um didn't betray the original at all, and I loved it. Thought it was well worth the price, and I really hope that they're the same developers making the 2 remake if that's true, because I will be on that immediately.
Yeah, I still gotta play it. I'll get it done eventually. I'm getting there. I got a list. Got a long list of games on my backlog, but I have it physical. It's sitting on my shelf over there, and I'll get to it soon. Up next, mentioned this a little bit earlier, but Republic Commando.
Mm.
Uh, Republic Commando will be coming to PS4 and Nintendo Switch on April 6th. Got updated controls and I think like a resolution boost and just some basic things that you'd expect from a basic remaster. I've never played Republic Commando. I know Mike has, so gonna switch over to Mike on this.
Well, in my opinion, it's the best squad-based FPS ever made. A lot of fun, and especially as a Star Wars fan, it adds a lot to the lore, especially when it came out when we didn't have, nearly as much Clone Wars content then as we do now. And just the characters of Delta Squad, Boss, Fixer, Seven, Scorch are very iconic. And even though they all share the same voice, they're very distinct in their attitudes, but they all have the one objective, which is, complete their missions through the Republic. And now that they're, canon through Clone Wars, it's just so much better. Besides all the nerdy stuff when it comes to the story and lore, the gameplay is phenomenal. The gunplay is fantastic, and again, the squad commands are really easy to use. They're very intuitive, especially for when this game came out, which is 2005. And it just really has an unmatched atmosphere, especially the Geonosis levels in the beginning. So, yeah, if you never played Republic Commando, get your ass in gear
Yeah, I've
and
never played it.
it comes out. Yeah, man. I'm really hoping Limited Run does a physical copy of this. I've tweeted at them about it. No response, obviously, but they have for the other Aspire Star Wars game ports. So I'm hoping that trend continues because I'd like a physical copy for PlayStation and Switch. But I do still have my copy for the original Xbox, which is backwards compatible if you want to play it on your series. They gave it away for free for 1 month with gold, so
Okay,
you might have it.
I'll have to check. What you said? What characters you play? Is it?
Boss, Fixer, Sev, and Scorch.
And they're in Clone Wars.
They're in for one episode.
Okay. I
One
was gonna say
scene,
I do
one
not remember
episode.
them. That's why I
Yeah,
just one
no.
episode.
It's the one of the first episodes with Savage Opress in it, and they
Okay.
recovered the bodies of 2 Jedi, bring them back to the temple.
Yeah, I gotta play it at some point, dude. I mean, you've
It's
talked about it
great.
multiple times about how much you like it.
It's fantastic. I love it.
Okay. Up next, Henry Cavill. He has posted a cryptic tease on his Instagram holding a sheet of paper, and the text is blurred out. But by using a program, everyone on the internet has been able to decipher some of the words. One of them is Cerebus, Reaper, Geth, Talizora, which if you played Mass Effect, you know those are Mass Effect words. So he is doing some sort of project with Mass Effect. Um, Now I'm not sure what this will actually be.
I
If
would probably think a TV show in the lines of The Witcher.
I think that would make sense. I mean, I don't think he's ever done any games, has he?
The Witcher. I mean, well,
No,
it's
like
kind of
no,
more
like
based off the books.
not Not as a
Oh, you
TV,
mean like an
and like
actual
yeah,
game
like
in
as a voice
mocap?
actor in a game.
I don't think it is that because it looked like he was in like a makeup chair, and they
Yeah,
don't do makeup for mocap. You know?
that's true. Yeah, I mean, I guess that would make more sense. I think it could be really cool. I know The
If
Expanse.
they
I don't know if
do
you've
it
ever
right.
seen it. It's similar. Like, it gives a lot of Mass Effect vibes. Everyone who's watched it said it's basically a Mass Effect TV show. So
I
it's
have
gonna get
not seen
compared to that a lot. I haven't watched it. It's on my list, but
it.
it's
What
gonna get
platform?
compared to that quite a bit probably. So they got to make sure they're at least better than that, or people will probably be disappointed.
What is the Expanse like? Is that an Amazon Prime show?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think it has like 4 seasons
Oh wow.
or five maybe. It's been on for a while right now. People like it, but yeah, definitely interesting. I mean, I think I sent you this picture, but there is a picture where Henry Cavill does look a lot like Shepard when he shaved
You
his
know
head,
he could.
so
Yeah.
he
No, he
could
could pull
pull
it
it
off.
off. He could also pull off quite a few other characters probably, but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see on that. We can't really, predict much off of it. I mean, it's just a sheet of paper. It was probably just more of like a lore paper, getting him to understand the background. I mean, there is a chance that he's in that makeup chair. That makeup chair right there could be completely unrelated to the whole project. Like he could be like on the set of The Witcher or something on there for that chair, and he's
No,
just
that's
reading
true.
over this, preparing for this role. So it could be fucking anything. We don't know.
Could
We'll
be
have to.
Mass Effect 4.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? I mean, Keanu Reeves, he did a fucking incredible job. So maybe.
Oh
And we
no,
know Henry Cavill is a gamer. He loves. He's a nerd. So I mean, I don't think I wouldn't be surprised by him doing a part in a game, but we will have to see. And
maybe it is Mass Effect 4.
yeah,
Who
it would be
knows?
cool. Up next, Mortal Shell Enhanced Edition will be coming on March 4th. It's going to be a free upgrade for PS4 and Xbox One users. 4K, 60 FPS, ultra high quality textures. So if anyone is interested in replaying it or playing it for the first time, there you
Which
go.
I encourage you to do. I mean, I haven't finished it, but I did start it a little bit on PC and really liked what I played, and I do have it on PlayStation, and I still have to finish it on there. Well, I have to start it on there, but it is a very quality Souls like, and it doesn't just draw inspiration from Dark Souls, but Demon Souls as well. And you can tell that the developers really love those games and drew, they drew inspiration from them and took a lot of elements as well. I mean, even the loading screens look exactly like Souls loading screens with item descriptions and everything. There's a few weird mechanics that definitely are unique to the game, and some are really cool, and some are a little just weird and don't they seem a bit counterintuitive. Like for example, if you pick up an item, you don't know what it does until you use it. So if like it's a food item like that heals you, you'll just use a heal accidentally. If it's a poison, you'll poison yourself, and it's just kind of annoying, especially for the type of game it is. But the whole shell system is really cool and adds a really cool layer to the combat that you don't see in actual Souls games. And yeah, try it out, especially since it's going to be upgraded.
Yeah.
And it looks
Um,
really good too graphically.
yeah, I mean, I might check it out. I have quite a few other games though in that genre that I have to finish first. The Soulsborne
Yes.
games, the Neo games I put before that. So I have quite a bit of time before I get to that. So, but it definitely looks intriguing, and there is an article on the GamePreview.com if you want to check it out and read about it. But up next, coming to PlayStation Plus in March, there will be Final Fantasy VII Remake. It is worth noting that you're not going to be able to upgrade this for free if you get it. So you're stuck with the PS4 version. You cannot upgrade it for free for the PS5
Oof.
version. I believe there will be an upgrade path. Hopefully, they're not assholes and make you, pay
They
70
probably will
bucks.
make you pay $70 for it, let's be honest.
Um, then
They're
there is
probably making it
Maquette.
free so people will pay $70. They're like, "Oh, I like the game, but I want to actually own it, and it's just
Yeah.
coming out on PS5, so hey, here you go."
There is Maquette, which I'm not familiar with, but that's the PS5 game for the month. Then there is Remnant from the Ashes, which I am familiar with. I know a lot of people do like that. And then there is
Love that game.
Farpoint VR, which I know quite a few people like that VR as well, but you need a PSVR. So, but the main thing I wanted to do with that is just compare it to what they had there and then what we have with Games of Gold, because that is a really good PS4 selection. And on top of that, you have Ratchet and Clank for the entire month. That isn't. It's part
Yeah,
of
I
the
don't even think
games
you need
with.
PS Plus for that, or do
Yeah,
you?
there's. For the games of gold, you have Warface Breakout.
Which is not the same as regular Warface, I've been told. It's different from the free-to-play game, but I still don't have that much interest in it.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look that good. Vala, which I've never really heard of. Metal Slug 3. And
Metal
then,
Slug's good, but it's not for everybody.
and then Port Royale 3.
Port Royale is a good series. Don't diss Port Royale. I probably will download that. But again, doesn't
But
really.
when you compare that to what like you have at PlayStation, Final Fantasy VII Remake, which just came out last year, Remnant from the Ashes,
And
Farpoint,
Remnant's a great co-op
Ratchet and
game
Clank
too.
2016 as well for that. I mean, you can't really compare them, and it's Xbox needs to step their game up,
No, yeah.
or just get rid of it entirely.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, it's nice to have free games.
No, I mean I'm more saying get rid of gold and make everything free.
Yeah, that could be a good alternative as well. I don't know.
But yeah. Up next, let me just write the timestamp down. We were talking about everyone's favorite platform, Google Stadia. So Jason
again,
Schreier
this
reported.
thing is still alive. How? Whatever, man. Let's just
Jason
get through
Schreier reported that it missed its initial sales targets by hundreds of thousands.
it. You think?
They tried to take on consoles rather than starting small. They brought in games like Red Dead and other Ubisoft games for tens of millions of dollars each. And let's see, Google spent the budget of some major games per Stadia port. So publishers like Ubisoft and Take-Two were racking it in. Like for example, they paid $20 million to port for Ubisoft to port in Assassin's Creed and The Division, instead of just paying like $1 million to 20 small developers and hoping that one of them make a cool game. And I mean, Stadia had a lot of issues, but marketing was definitely one of them because they fucked up at the launch, and then they made it seem like, oh yeah, you're paying a subscription, and then this and all this extra money, and they ended up changing it, but they never marketed the change, so a lot of people were under the wrong impression, and then people wouldn't use it because it was a terrible streaming platform compared to the other streaming platforms like the Xbox. And then on top of it, they had you know how they acquired the Savage Planet developers? They had a sequel in the works. They canceled that. The other projects they canceled was a Hideo Kojima episodic horror game, which they canceled. They canceled a
Why does everybody keep snubbing my boy Hideo when it comes to his horror projects? It's
I don't
getting
know, dude.
annoying.
They
Hopefully
multiplayer title by an Assassin's Creed developer. They just cut that game out as well. So I think
they're done.
yeah. I mean, dude,
From the start.
and there's rumors that this Hideo thing got canceled last year because he said a game that he was working on that he was really excited for got canceled. I am curious if anyone sweeped him up and are now funding that project,
Maybe.
like a Microsoft or a Sony. So I think
They
that
would
could
be pretty
still.
foolish not to be honest.
But yeah, that's all we got there from Stadia standpoint. They're just a mess. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say anymore about Stadia. It's time to put them down. Up next.
Yeah, long overdue. In
Yeah,
my opinion.
definitely.
And I hope the Luna suffers the same fate.
Yeah,
I really do.
it needs to. Well, not needs to, but I mean, they're just.
I don't wish for anyone's downfall, but a corporation, especially when they're trying to break into a market space they have no business breaking into,
Yeah, and they're
no, I
not
hope
gonna
they fail.
be willing to actually give the time. They just want results to come out of thin air. Like, oh, here you go. Make us a blockbuster title in a year. Like, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't want them to snatch up any good developers either and waste their talent like they
Yeah.
did with the Journey to the Savage Planet
Yeah.
guys with Google. So I do hope that Luna fails cataclysmically, and I hope the loss is so detrimental that Amazon never even attempts to go back into the gaming space. And I hope they cancel all their games so far. I hope New World falls apart. Maybe they realize, hey, isn't a profitable venture.
Okay.
One would hope.
Up next, we have Epic Games is acquiring the Fall Guys developer called Mediatonic. As of right now, the game is still staying on Steam, but that's the same thing that they said with Rocket League when they acquired their devs, and then it went free to play on their platform, and they took it off Steam eventually. So I'd expect the same thing to happen. Yeah, I know Fall Guys was a huge hit. I'm sure a ton of people are still playing it. It's not that much in the eyes of the media anymore, but a lot of
because it
people
got
really liked it.
overshadowed by Among Us. But
Yeah,
I know a lot of people loved it. I never got the chance to play it, even though I do have it because it's for free with PS Plus. But you know, I'm glad they're going to be able to have more funding for different projects now. I'm sure it was a great opportunity for those guys, so I don't blame the developers at all. I just don't like Epic Games whatsoever. I mean, I did when I was a kid playing Gears of War because then they were good, when they had Cliffy B. But now they're just, to put it bluntly, pricks, in my opinion. I mean, come on, they really brought, and look, we had it before with like Blizzard and EA, but that was different because those were their first party IPs. But now you brought multi-platform game exclusivity to PC, which never needed to happen at all. And I'm not going to really forget that because this PC exclusivity nonsense, again, when it's not your first party developed game, if it is your first party developed game, you have every right to keep it on your own platform. That's only, that just makes good business sense. But if you were taking games that you did not make and you were just throwing money at them to make them exclusive to your platform so that people on another platform can't play it where they want to, that's scummy, especially when that never existed prior to their involvement in the PC gaming store space. So, for that reason, I do not like, Epic acquiring yet another developer and locking out just all of their future content to others because Epic is way more egregious with it than other companies are.
yeah. Okay. Up next, give me one
But
second.
again, I just do want to say it benefits the developers. So I'm
Yeah,
not judging
I mean,
them at
getting the
all.
extra funding
So
is good,
yeah,
but
at
still,
what cost?
yeah. Up next, another acquisition. HyperX has been acquired by HP for $425 million.
Yeah, I don't know
Now,
if you ever had a piece of HP technology, but it sucks. Sucks real bad. I
yeah, I'm
mean,
trying to think. I think I had
it's
like an HP PC, a pre-built, a while
yeah.
ago.
I had a laptop and like my mom's like first desktop that we had in the house when I was like a real little kid that I played Webkins and Club Penguin on was I think an HP or it might have been a Dell. Regardless, I did have an HP laptop of my own at one point in time. It sucked, it croaked, and it just didn't even perform well before that. So now that I think that HyperX is acquired by HP, that's just really bad news. I think their quality is going to suffer a lot. As you can see, Frank is wearing a HyperX headset. I'm wearing a HyperX headset.
Yep.
I'm very happy with the brand. They make, really solid quality products for the money. But now that HP has dumped all these hundreds of millions into them, I feel their quality is going to drop now because HP is just going to want to ramp up production and focus on making back their investment immediately, most
Yeah, they're
likely.
gonna want
And
to lower the cost too,
yeah, and they're probably
production
gonna
cost, raise the
yeah
price.
change manufacturing locations, and it's just gonna be worse quality shit for a higher price, which we haven't which is nothing that we haven't seen before with companies, but it just sucks, especially in this case because I am an avid user of HyperX products. I intended when this headset dies, whenever it does, hopefully not for a long time, knock on wood, but regardless, I was going to get another HyperX, but now it might be the time to switch to SteelSeries or something. Whenever an acquisition like this happens, it usually doesn't bode well for the quality of products delivered to the consumer. That's just the blunt reality of the situation, however unfortunate it may be. What are you gonna do though?
Yep. What are you gonna do? Oh,
It's not like we had $441 million we could outbid them.
yeah.
So
Um. Yeah, that's a lot to pay for them too. But up next, Cyberpunk 2077's patch 1.2 was supposed to release in February, but it got delayed, and now it's coming about mid-March time. Supposedly the hack made things get pushed back.
well, yeah, it locked a lot of developers out of like their toolkits, and they
Yeah,
didn't know like whose PCs were affected with malware or whatever. So they need to get all their computers scrubbed by their IT team, and
yep,
it's just really put a halt on their development, which again is unfortunate because I hate how much the devs were impacted by this hack and how much it screwed them over, and it's just really unfortunate because they don't deserve that at all.
yeah, definitely. And
Because
then, I
and
mean,
the
I would
players don't
expect,
deserve that either.
yeah.
Because now we're gonna have to wait longer
And I
for
mean, DLC, the next gen versions, all that's getting delayed as well. I mean,
and the next gen version of Witcher 3 too. I was talking about it with my one friend the other night over text, and that's probably a long ways off
well, no,
now
they're not
too.
working on that.
They're not?
No, it's a different developer. We talked about this like last week, I think.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's there's a company right in Jersey working on it.
Well, no, I'm saying I don't think that we talked about it. I
Oh,
don't doubt
yeah.
there's enough
I
developers
don't know who
to.
the fuck I talked to about. But maybe it's Avalon. There's some. Let me Google it now because it's gonna piss me off. Who is making Witcher 3
And hopefully it doesn't get delayed.
next
Because
gen
I
version? Let
really
me
want
see.
to play that.
God, dude, who the fuck is it? Oh, this is gonna bug me so much.
I hope you're able to port your save over to from the last gen version to the next gen. They have to make that a feature. There's no way they won't. People have put way too much time into the game on certain save files, myself included. You find a developer yet?
Give me 1 second.
Come on, buddy. We
Saber
believe in you.
Interactive.
Saber. Oh yeah, they did the Switch report.
Yeah,
Yeah, all right, I believe in them.
so they're working on that.
They're gonna make it look real pretty.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Definitely gonna be doing a replay. But
No, that'll be playthrough number 4 for me, or playthrough number 5 technically, because I did start it on Switch.
yeah. Alright, let me just write the timestamp. Up next, Forever Entertainment, who worked on the Dragoon
Panzer Dragoon.
Saga remake, has signed a deal with Square Enix to create several remakes for them. So are there any Square Enix? I just bumped my mic. Are there any Square Enix games that you would like to see a remake for, off the top
Um,
of your head?
well, other Final Fantasies, obviously, maybe they could even bring the first one to modern times. That would be a pretty insane, in the same vein as the 7 remake. I don't know if Kingdom Hearts 2 needs it necessarily, but probably the first Kingdom Hearts would be cool to see remade. And maybe if they did both at the same time and released it on like the same disc or the same package or whatever, that'd be cool to see. Um, I saw a lot of people pushing for Legacy of Kain, and I never played those games, so I've heard they're very good. So that would be cool to see come back. Um, Square Enix, when I saw this news though, I kind of realized they have like very iconic franchises, but they don't have as many as I thought they did. It's not like somewhere like talking with Capcom that have like just a massive vault of titles they can go back through that are like really well known and beloved by a lot of people. Like the Square Enix just has really solid franchises and they pump a lot of games out under those names and they do consistently well. I'm not saying Square Enix makes bad games because when it's in-house, not something like Marvel's Avengers, it's usually really good. Oh and yeah, Outriders is a Square Enix published game, which we forgot to mention, which is they're kind of 0 for 2 for me for live services now. Regardless, remakes are cool as long as they don't detract from the development of new titles and they don't limit creativity in the studios and the developers are more than willing to pay homage to these classics and bring them to life from the modern age. Sure, let them. I mean, most of the remakes I played have been a lot of fun, from Resident Evil to Destroy All Humans that we talked about earlier.
Yeah,
Tony Hawk,
Mafia Definitive Edition.
Mafia Definitive Edition was phenomenal. Yeah, I'm for it. I'm here for it for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't mind remakes because I mean, there's a lot of older games that I never got the chance to play, and now they look too dated for me to be interested in them. But then a remake comes along, and I get to experience them, like Mafia, for example, and I see how good of a game it was.
Yeah.
So, definitely exciting. And we are moving on to the final topic of the video. EA has announced that the next Need for Speed game will be delayed for a year. Criterion
Thank
Games is going to be supporting EA Dice with Battlefield 2021 instead, and then we'll go back to Need for Speed afterwards. EA Laura Mealy notes that Dice Los Angeles is helping with Battlefield 6 as well, on the multiplayer aspect of things, and she also describes that the game will be a love letter to fans. Now, I'd imagine that they're more comfortable with moving the Need for Speed team over to help with Battlefield 6 as well, due to the fact that they have acquired Codemasters and they have all these other racing projects in development.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts?
Well, I think it's good because the reboot I never really got to play due to technical bugs. It would never let me sign into the servers, so I never got to play it when it was like viable. And now it just looks inferior to the new games. Payback was terrible. I played that with like the EA Access 10-hour thing. Absolutely terrible. Embarrassing display of a Need for Speed game. I honestly thought the franchise was dead after that. And then they released Heat, which was definitely an improvement from Payback, but just still had a lot of weird mechanics, and I really did not like it. And again, I played it with the EA Access 10-hour program. I never ended up buying it. No, I love Need for Speed back in the day, and I'm not like one of the underground purists that thinks those are the only good games in the series. Like I like Rivals, I like Hot Pursuit. There are modern-ish Need for Speed games that I enjoy, but just this ever since they came out with the new generation of consoles, and well, not new, but Xbox One, PS4, they just really haven't been able to make a solid release, in my opinion. So maybe more development time will finally give them what they need. And Heat was definitely a step in the right direction from Payback. So hopefully that in tandem with the extra year to make the game, they give us something that is truly special. Maybe people will actually play Need for Speed again and consider them, like a serious competitor to Forza or Gran Turismo or something like that. And I mean, especially since we don't, well, it wouldn't be really competitors to those because those are simulation racing games. My point being is that we don't have that many like big racing titles, at least it's not as much as we used to, especially in the arcade racing scene. I mean, like we have rally racers, we have simulation racers, we have open world racers, but we don't really have as many arcade racers besides Mario Kart anymore. And Need for Speed was a big player in that genre, and Burnout's essentially dead besides the Paradise remaster, which we got. And yeah, I mean, I would like to see EA Racing make a comeback. So this next game will probably be the definitive answer to see whether it will or not.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, I'm not huge on racing games. I mean, but I definitely want them to, succeed. I mean, EA has a lot of different, IPs in the racing department,
Yeah,
and I would like to see some really good releases. I don't want them rushing them out, just throw microtransactions into them. I want to see a solid, really good racing game because, I mean, Codemasters was making some pretty good games, and I hope that EA just doesn't fuck that
ruin
all
them.
up. But yeah, I mean, EA has the money to really fund Codemasters, so and Codemasters has the talent, so they should be able to go and make racing games that are the same quality of like Forza games. But is that going to happen?
We'll see.
Yep, I'll have to wait. But
Depends how much EA really wants to support them because EA has a habit of buying studios, throwing them out in a lake, and just letting them tread water until they drown.
yep,
So we'll
and
see if
then
that pattern
firing their
continues.
staff, just
Yep.
and then
R.I.P. Pandemic.
yep,
R.I.P. Visceral.
all those games that could have been great if EA was just competent.
Yep.
But on to that note, unless you have anything else to add, I think
I
we are
do
done.
not personally. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching this episode. A little bit on the longer side today, but hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.
And we'll catch you next Tuesday. Later,